Before Donna entered my life, I wasn't sure I'd ever find a love that felt stable and dependable. I'd had a few failed relationships, but when Donna and I met, everything just clicked. She was ambitious, bright, and we had a mutual respect that built the foundation for what I believed would be a lasting marriage. Those early days were full of hope as we built a life together, and I thought I'd finally found someone to share everything with. We settled into our roles, me focusing on my IT career, while Donna managed a high-end hair salon. From the outside, everything seemed perfect, and even our friends commented on how well we worked together. I was confident we were building something meaningful, discussing plans for the future, including starting a family. Then, my world turned upside down when I discovered a video that made Donna an internet meme, exposing her as a hypocrite. My name is Jim Fielding, and for 5 years, I thought I had a stable marriage. But after seeing that video, I realized things weren't as they seemed. So, what happened? The coronavirus pandemic hit. Donna's salon shut down, but I kept working remotely because my job in banking was considered essential. At first, things were great. We spent a lot of time together. But as the days went on, Donna became short-tempered and frustrated, especially when I had to leave for work. During one of those trips, I noticed something odd. Aftershave in the house, even though I don't wear cologne. My suspicions grew, but I brushed them aside. As lockdown dragged on, things got worse. Donna became angry over small things. She was strict about following every new guideline, making me wear masks and use hand sanitizer religiously. Eventually, she even made me sleep in the guest room because we couldn't stay 6 feet apart in our bed, which also meant no sex. I argued, saying it didn't make sense since we lived together, but she stuck to the rules. Soon, we weren't eating together or even using the same bathroom. She separated our dishes, and we had to wash our own clothes. We'd become little more than roommates under the same roof. The mayor introduced a hotline and website for reporting neighbors not following strict guidelines. While I understood the intent, I felt it was excessive. I shared my concerns with Donna, but she disagreed. "I think it's a great idea," she said. "People aren't following the rules, and it's dangerous." "I'm not getting involved in that," I replied. "Suit yourself," she shrugged, "but I will." "You're not going to report our neighbors, are you?" I asked, worried about causing trouble with friends. "It's for their own good," she insisted. "If they don't care about their health, someone has to." "But these are our friends and neighbors," I said. "Then they'd better follow the rules," she replied. "I don't want us getting sick because of them." I cautioned her about the state's sunshine laws, warning that if neighbors found out she was reporting them, it could damage our relationships. But Donna didn't seem concerned. Over the next few days, she spent a lot of time watching the neighbors, even calling the snitch line when kids were playing outside. Eventually, a police officer came and spoke to the parents, and the kids went inside. I hoped they never found out it was Donna. I also noticed strange behavior from Donna. She started making frequent trips to Walmart, which usually lasted much longer than before. Despite being an efficient shopper, she'd now be gone for hours, often returning with only a single item. Even more oddly, she began dressing up for these trips. When I asked about it, she brushed me off, saying she just wanted to look nice. Making matters worse, several times she would head straight to the master bathroom, a room I was no longer allowed to use, and take a shower right after returning. Why would she need to do that if all she did was run out to grab 1 or 2 small grocery items? I know I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to women, but I wasn't born yesterday. Something was up, and I was determined to find out what. Why would she get all dressed up and leave for Walmart around the same time every day, only to be gone for up to 3 hours? Something definitely didn't add up. I tried to trust her. After all, I had seen some of the lines at stores myself. But 45 days into the lockdown, I knew something wasn't right. I pulled out my phone and called John Winthrop, an old college friend who now ran his own private investigation company. "What's up, buddy?" he asked. He listened quietly as I explained the situation. "Man, that doesn't sound good. Email me a recent picture of Donna and I'll get started. You might want to install some cameras in your house that stream to your server." "Good idea," I said as I sent him a picture of Donna. "I've got a few cameras lying around that aren't in use," he told me. "If you want, you can borrow them and set them up. Meet me at your office this afternoon and I'll bring them over if that works." "That works," I said. "I'll be there around 2:30. She's usually back from Walmart by then." "Gotcha," John said. "Your office, 2:30. I'll be there. I just got your email, by the way. Thanks." "No, thank you. I just need to get to the bottom of this." "You might not like what you find," John warned. "I don't like what's happening now," I replied. See you this afternoon, buddy. We ended the call, and I thought about what he said. I might not like the truth, but it had to be better than what was going on now. It was time to face this head-on and deal with it. I showered, changed, and left a note on the kitchen counter letting Donna know I'd be out until later that afternoon. I met John outside the building where my office was. He handed me a box with 3 small motion-activated cameras that could be installed just about anywhere, even inside smoke detectors. He also gave me an installation guide. I hope this works out for you, Jim. I'll get started on my end and let you know what I find. Okay, thanks, John. I appreciate it. After he left, I went inside and saw that UPS had delivered some batteries and DVDs. While checking my work email and our ticketing system, I learned the upgrades and battery replacements were scheduled for later that night after banking hours. I glanced at the clock and realized I had just enough time to get home, set up the cameras, and grab a couple of hours of sleep before the night shift. When I got home, Donna still wasn't back, so I grabbed my ladder and headed into the master bedroom, a place I'd been banned from. Out of curiosity, I peeked into her hamper and found a pair of underwear with what looked like crusty seed stains. Disgusted, I set to work. As I finished installing a camera in the smoke detector, Donna walked in. I could immediately smell a man's cologne mixed with something else on her. "What are you doing in my room?" she asked. "Your room?" I shot back. "Last time I checked, my name's on the mortgage, which means I can go into any room I damn well please, including the master bedroom where we used to sleep together." She recoiled. I rarely spoke to her like that. "Just so you know, I had to change the battery in the smoke detector. I'll be doing the same in the guest room and living room." "Okay," she said. "You don't have to be so short with me." I said nothing, finished up, and moved to the guest room where I'd been sleeping. I installed the second camera there, and then moved to the living room to finish the job. Once done, I put the ladder away and went into my office to check that the cameras were connecting to my server. It took a few minutes, but I was satisfied with the results. The images were clear, and the microphones picked up everything. I watched as Donna came out of the bathroom and put on jeans and a light sweatshirt. I hoped nothing incriminating would show up so we could move forward. After that, I headed upstairs to what had become my bedroom. "I need to go to the data center tonight to install some updates on the servers," I told Donna as I reached the top of the stairs. She seemed almost happy that I'd be gone. "I'll probably be out most of the night, so I'm going to get a couple hours of sleep before I have to leave." "Okay," she said, walking off without a care that I wouldn't be around. I noticed she didn't even bother saying goodnight. There was a time when news like that would have upset her. I shook my head and went into my room to try and sleep for a couple of hours. When my alarm went off, I dragged myself into the bathroom to brush my teeth and shower. I dressed, headed downstairs, made a sandwich, and grabbed a cup of coffee for the road. Donna was sitting on the couch and didn't say a word to me. I felt like I needed to reach out, to say something. "Donna?" I called from the dining room table. She turned to face me. "Yes?" she asked. "Do you still love me?" "Of course," she replied. "Why do you ask?" "I was just wondering. You're never kind to me anymore. You don't even say you love me, and we haven't had sex in a long time." With a heavy sigh, she replied, "Is that what's bothering you? No sex?" "It's been a while, and we used to make love regularly," I said. "Now we're just like roommates. Is something going on?" "Look, maybe I'm just tired of being stuck in the house all the time, okay?" she said. "It's not easy for me either. I'm just worried that we're drifting apart." She nodded. "Maybe you're right. I'm sorry if it feels like I've been off lately. Maybe when all this is over, we can go on a nice vacation." "Yeah, that'd be nice," I said, though I didn't really believe it. "I'll be out most of the night doing the updates. I'll call you when I'm heading home." "Okay," she said. "Thanks." Then she went back to watching her show. After finishing my meal, I went into the office to check on the server, grabbed my briefcase, and locked the door. As I headed to the front door, I glanced at Donna. "I'm leaving now. Love you," I said. Without looking up, she replied, "Yeah, me too." I stood there for a moment, realizing that's all I'd get from her. There was a time she'd send me off with a kiss, but I guess those days were long gone. "Donna," I said, as I closed the door behind me. I got into my truck, feeling heavy-hearted. It took a little over an hour to reach the data center. I went in, replaced the UPS batteries, and started the upgrade script. Knowing it would take hours, I grabbed some coffee and sat at a desk. I pulled out my personal laptop, connected to the network, and logged into my home server. There were several videos from earlier, so I checked them out. Nothing seemed odd, just clips of me sleeping, Donna in the front room, the usual. I noticed she pulled out her phone multiple times to text someone. I hadn't had a chance to check her phone since she always kept it with her, so I had no idea who she was texting. One clip showed Donna in the master bedroom holding a wedding photo that usually sat on the dresser. Based on the timestamp, it happened while I was asleep. She looked at the picture wistfully, then placed it face down on the dresser before leaving the room. A few other videos showed me getting ready for work, and one recorded our conversation before I left. I couldn't help but notice that aside from her size, Donna had shown very little emotion during the conversation, and even less when I said goodbye. However, things got interesting after I closed the door. She stared at it for a moment, then got up to check if I had left. Once sure I was gone, she pulled out her phone and made a call. Unfortunately, I could only hear one side of it. "Hey, lover," she said, smiling. "Yeah, idiot's gone, probably all night. You ready to come over and play in my bed?" "Of course. And anywhere else you want." "You want me to do what?" "Really? Okay, just for you. Hurry up, I'm excited thinking about you." "Yeah, okay, love you, stud muffin. See you soon." "What the hell?" I whispered to myself. It became clear that Donna didn't love me anymore and was in love with someone else. I watched as she went upstairs to the master bedroom. She picked up our wedding photo and giggled at it. "Don't you wish you were here to watch me?" she said, putting the picture face down again. The next video showed her back in the front room, standing unclothed and looking out the window. A few minutes later, a car pulled into the driveway. She opened the door and stood unclothed as a man stepped onto the porch. He smiled and kissed her deeply. She responded eagerly. It had been so long since she had touched me, let alone kissed me like that. It felt like my heart was being torn apart. They walked into the room, and I got a clear look at the man's face. He looked somewhat familiar, but I couldn't place him at first. His well-styled dark hair made him look like a model from a salon ad. Then it hit me. He was a hairdresser who worked at the salon Donna managed. I vaguely remembered meeting him once when I visited her. "So, the idiot's gone all night?" he asked her. "Yep, all night," she replied with a huge grin. "Come on, let's go upstairs. I'm so excited for you." Then they ran up the stairs into what used to be our master bedroom. The video ended, but I saw another had just been saved to the server, so I opened it. This video picked up where the last one left off. Donna and her lover were in the bedroom, and she had gotten on the bed. "It's not our marital bed anymore," she said. "I kicked him out of the bedroom like you suggested. This is my bed now. Or better yet, our bed. Yours and mine." That explained a lot, I thought. They clearly planned this out. "Too bad the coward isn't here to watch a real man with you," he said with a nasty grin. She laughed. "Maybe later. Forget about him for now. I need you to screw me." I can't even begin to explain the emotions I felt as I watched and listened to them humiliate me in my own house, in what I thought was my marital bed. Part of me was heartbroken over the loss of what I once believed was a beautiful relationship. Another part of me burned with rage. After all the years I supported her and took care of her, this was my reward. It was probably for the best I wasn't there while this happened. I likely would have grabbed my weapon and ended both of them right then, but that would have just put me in jail, and I wasn't going down that road. It's crazy how fast someone's feelings can change. Right now, I didn't see Donna as my soulmate. She wasn't my wife anymore. In fact, it was hard for me to even think of her as a woman. She was just a selfish, deceitful person. I had to get away from all of this before I lost my mind. I stopped the video and left the data center. I drove to a convenience store and bought a couple of packs of cigarettes and a 6-pack of Coke. I would have grabbed some beer, but I still had work to finish and needed to drive back home. It had been years since I smoked, but I needed one before I completely lost it. Sitting in my truck, I smoked a cigarette, thinking about what to do next. Divorce was obvious, but it wouldn't be enough. I needed some kind of revenge on Donna and her dirtbag lover for what they were doing to me. But I had to be careful not to end up in jail. I went back inside to check on the updates, then sat down to continue watching the video. I've read stories where guys get excited, watching their wives with other men. That didn't happen to me, thank God. Sure, Donna was still attractive, but what I felt was pure hatred. What made it worse wasn't just watching them have sex in what used to be our shared bedroom, but hearing what they were saying. "You want me to get you pregnant?" he asked. "Yes, baby, get me pregnant," she said. "What about your pathetic husband?" he asked. "Who cares about him?" she said dismissively. "I'll make him think it's his and let him raise it." "I like that idea," the man said. "Here it comes." She removed her wedding rings and placed them in her hand. "God, you're wicked," he told her. "That's why you love me, right?" she asked. I screamed, I cried, and I raged. I wanted to smash my laptop against the wall. I couldn't believe the woman I had vowed to love forever was doing this to me, to us. I swore no matter what, I would get revenge on them both. In the video, the two of them were snuggled up in what used to be my bed. "So, Donna, why don't you just divorce the idiot and come live with me?" he asked. "Oh, please," she said. "You think I'd give up all this to live in that little trailer of yours? Look, I love you and the Zex, but I can't afford to divorce him yet. I need his money." So that's all I was to her now. A meal ticket. Well, to hell with that. I stopped the video and logged into our bank account. I did the usual things. Opened a new account in my name only, transferred half of our money into it, and then paid off and canceled our joint credit cards. I also went into our company's HR system and removed her name from my retirement account. I would have taken her off my insurance too, but I couldn't because it wasn't open enrollment, and I didn't have a finalized divorce yet. Other than that, I did everything I could to separate our finances. Working for the same bank that held our accounts definitely helped. I started the video again. "So, once this pandemic is over and we're back to work, you'll divorce him?" he asked. "Yeah, by then I'll have enough saved up and I can file for something like mental cruelty. I'm sure I can find a lawyer who'll ruin him." "Not if I get to one first." "You're a real piece of work," I thought to myself. Looks like this marriage is coming back to life, huh? I couldn't take much more and fast-forwarded through the rest of the video. After they finished having sex, they laid back down in bed and cuddled some more. So much for social distancing, I thought. After a while, they went to sleep, and it looked like the night's fun was over. I checked on the progress of the updates. It looked like they'd be done in about an hour. So I sat back and thought about my next move. After what I heard tonight, there was no way I could continue living under the same roof as Donna. I had seen and heard enough, and I didn't think there was any need for John to follow her anymore. So I came up with a plan. I spliced together several clips of the videos I had and sent the compilation to every one of her family members, explaining that I'd be filing for divorce on grounds of infidelity. By then, the updates were finished, so I ran some tests to ensure everything was working properly. Once I confirmed it, I packed up my things and headed to the truck, deciding to crash Donna's little party. It was only 1:30 a.m., meaning I'd get home around 2:30. Donna wasn't expecting me back until much later. Perfect, I thought with a wicked grin. I got into the truck, lit a cigarette, and hit the road. By the time I reached home, it was 2:25, so I turned off the headlights to avoid waking Donna or her lover. I parked in the driveway next to the a-hole's car, not bothering with the garage door. I went inside, turned off the security system, and set my laptop bag in the office. Then I quietly crept up the stairs and walked through the open door of the master bedroom. They were both fast asleep, arms wrapped around each other. How sweet, I thought sarcastically. I stepped into the room and flipped on the overhead light. "Get up! Get up! Get up!" I shouted, just like my drill instructors did back in boot camp. Startled, they leaped out of bed, totally confused about what was happening. "What the hell is going on here?" I yelled at the top of my lungs. "Oh my God!" Donna gasped when she realized it was me. "Jim, what are you doing home? You were supposed to be at work all night." "I finished early and wanted to surprise my loving wife," I sneered. "But what do I find instead? You and your lover in my bed?" The guy, Thad, looked terrified. "Look, man, I'm sorry," he stammered. I glared at him. "Just get your clothes on and get the hell out of my house," I roared. "You've got 30 seconds and 25 of them are already gone. Move." He scrambled like a headless chicken, trying to gather his clothes. I turned to Donna. "Maybe I should call the mayor's snitch line and report you for breaking social distancing rules," I said. "Pack your crap and get out." "Jim, please," she begged. "It's not what it looks like." I laughed right in her face. "Spare me your nonsense, witch. You love this a-hole? Go live with him." But, she stammered. "No buts, witch," I said. "Get out now. I'm not your meal ticket anymore. You want his kids? Fine. Go live with him in his trailer. I'm getting a divorce as soon as possible. Now pack up. Don't make me repeat myself." "Wait, you know about," she started. "I saw and heard everything. 304, I said coldly. Her eyes widened as she realized what I was talking about. "You saw And right now you make me sick, I added. She started crying as it all hit her. Stop crying, I snapped. Pack your crap and get out. Whatever you leave behind gets tossed or burned. You can't mean that, she sobbed. Oh, I absolutely do. I loved you, and this is how you repay me? With lies and cheating on me with that piece of trash? I hate you right now. I never want to see your face again. Is that clear? Sobbing, she got out of bed and began packing. Thad was still fumbling with his clothes, so I decided to speed things up. Help her pack, a-hole, I commanded. What? He asked, bewildered. Are you deaf? Help her pack. I'll bring some trash bags up, and you can start throwing her stuff in them. You're part of this mess, so do your part. I went downstairs, grabbed a few large plastic garbage bags, and tossed them on the bed. Get to it. You've got 5 minutes. After that, everything else is getting thrown out or burned. A few minutes later, Donna and her lover carried several bags of her belongings to their cars. I found her purse, pulled out the house key, and took the garage door opener from her car. Then I removed my wedding ring and placed it in her hand. She looked at me with tear-filled eyes. Don't you want this? She asked softly. I shook my head. No, not anymore. Now get out. I assume you'll be living at Thad's trailer, so I'll have the divorce papers sent there. Write down the address. She scribbled an address on a piece of paper and handed it to me. I'm sorry, she said. Yeah, you are. And I'm sorry I ever met you. Crying, she left. I watched as they drove off, then locked the door behind them. Exhausted, I collapsed on the couch and fell asleep. It was nearly 8 a.m. when I woke up. Knowing I had a lot to take care of, I called my boss and asked for the week off, explaining what had happened. No problem, Jim, he said. You got plenty of comp time. Take what you need, and thanks for finishing those updates last night. Thanks, I replied, ending the call. I then called John to tell him there was no need to follow Donna anymore and filled him in on what had happened earlier. Damn, I'm really sorry to hear that, Jim, but I'm glad you found out when you did. Let me know if I can help. Thanks, I said. I'll return your equipment soon and we'll settle up. We ended the call and I refilled my coffee. I started searching for a family law attorney and found one who worked from home. I called and he agreed to meet with me via a teleconferencing system his firm used. After I got the email with the details, I signed in, and soon we were chatting face-to-face from our living rooms. I explained what happened and what I wanted, and he outlined the divorce laws in our state. Turns out, we lived in a no-fault state, so I couldn't file for infidelity. However, her affair could be used to block her from getting alimony or support. The downside was, I'd probably have to sell the house and give her half the proceeds, but that was fine with me since I didn't want to stay there anymore. I'll get started on the paperwork and have her served in a couple of days, he said. I provided him with all the necessary information, her address, workplace, and so on. Someone from our office will contact you for the retainer, he said. I'll be in touch. I thanked him and we ended the call. I took down the cameras and began sorting through what Donna had left behind, dividing it into 3 piles, one for burning, one to toss out, and one for goodwill. It was nearly noon when my phone rang. I saw it was Donna's sister, Doreen. She was a couple of years younger than Donna and out of work because the restaurant she worked at had closed. Jim, what's this about you throwing Donna out in the middle of the night? She asked angrily. Did she tell you why I threw her out? I asked. She said it was just a little misunderstanding. Check your email, I told her. Once you see what I sent, you'll understand. Goodbye, Doreen. I ended the call before she could respond. A few minutes later, I got another call, this time from her parents. I'd always liked her parents, and we'd gotten along well. Jim, I got a strange call from Donna, her father, Alan, said. She told us you threw her out at 2:30 in the morning. Is that true? Yes, Alan, it is. Why on earth would you do that? He asked. Have you checked your email? I asked him. No, I haven't. Check your email and you'll know why. Talk to you later, Alan. Send my best to Linda. Linda was Donna's mother, and I cared for her like my own. I kept sorting through Donna's things, and the piles kept growing. About an hour later, Doreen called again. I answered the phone. Jim, I saw the video, and I'm so sorry. She made it seem like you were being unreasonable and threw her out for no reason. Do you know who that guy is? Yeah, that's Ronnie, she said. He worked at Donna's salon before it closed. She admitted to me they've been seeing each other for a while, even before the pandemic. Lovely, I said. Look, if I pick up some of her things, can I swing by and get them? She asked. If you're quick. I'm sorting through her stuff now. Most of it's going to Goodwill. The rest is getting trashed or burned. Burned? she asked, shocked. Yeah, like her wedding dress, our photos, that kind of stuff. You're going to burn her wedding dress? She asked, incredulous. Absolutely. Please don't burn or throw anything away until I get there, she begged. I might want to keep some of it. Like I said, you'd better hurry, I replied. I'll be right over, she said. I paused my work and went out back for a cigarette and some coffee. Just as I sat down and lit up, my phone rang again. Can't these people just leave me alone? I muttered. I saw it was Alan and answered. Hey, Alan. Jim, I owe you an apology. I saw the video and I've never been more disgusted in my life. That was just a highlight reel, if you know what I mean, I said. There's plenty more. We've seen all we need to. Linda's heartbroken. We've told Donna she's not welcome here anymore. Jim, we think the world of you. If you need anything, just let us know. Thanks, Alan. I appreciate that. We ended the call, and I went back inside. By then, Doreen was knocking at the door. I opened it and saw her standing there in short shorts and a cropped t-shirt. Hey, Doreen, come on in. She flipped her long blonde hair back as she walked inside. I'm sorting her stuff upstairs if you want to go through it, I said. Sounds good, she replied. I handed her a trash bag and she smiled as she took it. What is this? Luggage around here now? She joked. I laughed. Yeah. And she's lucky it's a clean bag. She laughed in response, and we went upstairs where she sifted through the piles of stuff, casually tossing things into the bag. She wasn't exactly careful with any of it. She noticed Donna's rings sitting on the nightstand. She left her rings here, Doreen remarked. I nodded as she reached for them. You might want to disinfect those first, I said. Oh, that's gross. No way am I touching those. What are you going to do with them? I shrugged. I'm thinking of cleaning them and selling them at a pawn shop or something. They're worthless to me, and clearly they don't mean anything to Donna anymore. Clearly, she agreed. Go ahead and grab whatever you want. I'm heading out back for a bit. Feel free to join me if you want to talk. Okay, she replied. I grabbed a fresh cup of coffee and stepped out back for another cigarette. A few minutes later, Doreen poked her head out. Mind if I join you? Not at all, I said. She sat down in the chair across from me. I didn't know you smoked. I quit a while ago, but started up again last night after I saw that video. Bad habit. Mind if I join you? She asked. It's a free country, I said, surprised. She pulled a pack out of her purse and I offered her a light. She leaned back and gave me a thoughtful look before speaking. My sister is such an idiot. I can't believe she treated you the way she did. You don't even know the half of it, I said, explaining how Donna kept us apart under the pretense of the virus, when really it was to keep me from seeing her. She's not just an idiot, she's a stupid idiot, Doreen said. After a few moments, I noticed she started acting differently. The way she sat and the small smile on her face gave her intentions away. You know, I've had a crush on you since the first time I met you. Really? I asked, surprised. Of course, she said. I always noticed how flirty she was around me when we were together, but I never encouraged it. Still, I could tell it bothered Donna, and to be honest, I didn't do anything to stop it either. I've always thought highly of you too, I said. She smiled. I'm not my sister, though. I know, I replied. No, you don't, she said. Sure, we grew up together, but we couldn't be more different. Donna's always been selfish and a little narcissistic. I can't tell you how many times she got me in trouble with our parents, only to do the same things herself later. Honestly, I'm shocked you two lasted as long as you did. Really? Why? I asked. She was always switching boyfriends when we were younger, Doreen explained. She'd date someone for a few months, then move on. Most guys dumped her as soon as they saw who she really was. I wish I had known that before I married her. I almost warned you when we first met, Doreen said. Why didn't you? I asked. I thought about it several times, but I could tell you were completely in love with her. I didn't think you'd believe me. I nodded. You're probably right. I was head over heels for her and would have thought you were trying to split us up. I did warn her, though, Doreen said. I told her if she ever hurt you, she'd regret it. She swore she'd never treat you like her other boyfriends. Did you ever think about revenge? She asked. It crossed my mind, I admitted. I spoke to a divorce attorney this morning, and he's starting the paperwork. Is that all? Isn't there something else you'd like to do? She asked with a suggestive tone. I knew what she was hinting at, but I wasn't ready to take the bait, at least not yet. Yeah, but I'd probably end up in jail, she laughed. That's not what I meant. She rested her hand on my leg, and I could feel the heat from her touch. I knew I could have her right then, but it was too soon. I'm still legally married, I said. The papers haven't even been served yet. She smiled. Good answer, that's fine. I've waited 5 years, so I guess I can wait a bit longer. Are you staking a claim? I asked with a grin. Damn right I am, she said. Donna messed up big time, but I'm not like her. I'm a one-man woman, always have been. I smiled back. That's good to hear. I figured you'd have guys lining up. Nah, most of the guys I know are idiots or mama's boys. That's a shame. Not really, she replied. None of them can compare to you, but I have to know one thing. What's that? Is there any chance you'll take Donna back? She asked. I shook my head. None whatsoever. She burned that bridge last night. Too bad for her, I guess, Doreen said. She glanced at her watch. I should get going. I promised Donna I'd bring her stuff this afternoon. Is there anything you want me to tell her? Just let her know I spoke to a lawyer and she'll be served in a couple of days. I'll tell her I'm really sorry about what she did to you. Thanks, I'll be fine. I know you will. She stood up and hugged me. Let me give you something to take your mind off things, she whispered. I was about to say something, but she caught me off guard with the deepest kiss I'd ever experienced. Are you on Skype? She asked after pulling back. Yeah, I am. I wrote down my Skype handle and handed it to her. Great. I'll meet you on Skype tonight and let you know how it goes. Sound good? Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, I said. I helped her carry the rest of Donna's things to her car, and we kissed before she got in. I watched her drive off, then sighed as I went back inside. I hoped I wasn't jumping from one bad situation into another, but I didn't sense any deception from her. I grabbed a soda and was heading to the back door when my phone rang. This time it was Donna. What does she want now? I wondered. What do you want? I asked when I picked up. You prick! She screamed. How could you do this to me? Do what, exactly? You know what? You sent that awful video to my parents and my sister. Now they all hate me. Why would you do that? Why do you think? 304, remember? You're the one who cheated, lied, and stabbed me in the back? I loved you completely, and this is what I get? You really thought I'd raise Ronnie's child? Screw you, witch, and him. Stop calling me that, she yelled. I knew she hated that word, which is exactly why I used it. But I didn't care. Why not? It's what you are, a lying, cheating, worthless witch. That's all you've ever been, and it's all you'll ever be. We're done. I spoke to a lawyer today, and you'll be served with divorce papers in a few days. In the meantime, I don't want to hear from or see you again. Jim, please, I'm begging you, she cried. I'm so sorry. We can fix this. No, we can't, I said firmly. You destroyed everything with your cheating. I'm done with your nonsense. You made your choice, now live with it. Goodbye. And I seriously hope I never see you alive again. I thought I heard her sob, but I didn't care. I ended the call and immediately blocked her number. Later that evening, Doreen contacted me on Skype. She told me Donna wasn't too happy about the condition of her belongings. Too bad, I thought. I told Doreen about Donna's call and she laughed. Serves her right, she said. We chatted for a while before ending the call. I thanked her for everything she'd done and told her it meant a lot to me. It's my pleasure, she said sweetly. I'll be in touch. We said our goodbyes and I found myself daydreaming about being with Doreen. The next day, I finished sorting through the rest of Donna's things. I cleaned her rings and took the stuff I was donating to Goodwill, stuffing it all into trash bags and loading it into the truck. After dropping the bags off, I stopped by a pawn shop and sold her rings, getting a fraction of what I'd paid for them 5 years ago. Oh well, I thought. If Donna wants them, she can go buy them back. I even mailed the pawn ticket to her at Ronnie's trailer in case she wanted them. I figured she'd get the ticket in a day or two, giving her a chance to reclaim them if she wanted. I'm not entirely heartless, after all. I called John and arranged to return the surveillance equipment he let me use. After I got back home, I tore down the bed and put it in the front yard along with the dresser and nightstands. I added a free sign, and within a couple of hours, everything was gone. I gathered the rest of Donna's things, including her wedding dress and all the photos with her in them, and took them out back. I grabbed a 50-gallon drum from the garage, stuffed everything inside, soaked it with lighter fluid, and set it on fire. I stayed with the drum until it had all burned to ash, then made sure the fire was completely out before putting the lid on the drum. I left it there to cool down before moving it. I went back inside and looked around, making sure I'd removed everything that reminded me of Donna. The place felt a bit empty, but it was worth it to clear out all traces of her. By then, it was evening, and I was exhausted. I fried up some hot dogs and watched a little TV before heading to bed. I slept in the next day, but still managed to get a lot done. I opened the windows in the now empty master bedroom to air it out, then grabbed some spackle to fill the nail holes. Afterward, I cleaned the carpet using the shampoo machine. It was late afternoon by the time I finished. I was in the garage cleaning the machine when I noticed Ronnie's car pull up out front. I opened the garage door and grabbed a baseball bat I kept near the back door. Standing by the open door, I watched them get out and head toward the front door. I stepped out and intercepted them. "What do you want?" I asked. Donna held up 2 envelopes. "What is this crap?" she demanded. "If I'm not mistaken, those are divorce papers," I said. "Sign them and send them back. I've been more than fair. The sooner you do that, the sooner this sham of a marriage can be over. Don't fight me on this, or I'll use the full video I have of you two in our bed." "What about this?" she asked, holding up a smaller envelope. I recognized it as the pawn ticket I'd mailed her. "That's the pawn ticket for your rings. I sold them. Didn't get much, but that's life. I sent you the ticket in case you wanted to buy them back. I didn't want them, and clearly they didn't mean much to you either. I'm sure the judge will understand why I did it." "You prick," she cried. "Do you really hate me that much?" "Yes, I do," I said flatly. "What else did you do?" she asked. "I got rid of the rest of your stuff, just like I said I would. Gave away the bedroom set, took stuff to Goodwill, and burned the rest." "Burned?" she asked, shocked. "What did you burn?" "Your wedding dress, and any pictures that included you. Junk, basically." "You actually burned my wedding dress?" she said, her eyes filling with tears. "Yep. Want the ashes?" She broke down crying as Ronnie held her. He shot me a glare. "You really are a heartless prick." "Yeah, I am. Especially when someone I loved with all my heart stabs me in the back with someone like you. Just a warning, she'll probably cheat on you too. Don't get too comfortable. Now get off my lawn." Ronnie turned her around and led her back to his car. She glanced back at me before getting inside, but I cut her off. "By the way, you two seem awfully close for social distancing, and neither of you is wearing masks. Maybe I should call the mayor's hotline and report you," I said, pulling out my phone as if I was about to call. She sobbed as she got into the car. Ronnie squealed his tires as he drove off. I smiled and put my phone away. I expected her to fight the divorce, so I was surprised when my lawyer called the next morning to tell me she'd signed the papers and dropped them off at his firm. "I got them filed, and we've got a tentative court date 2 weeks from today," he said. "Fortunately, the court here is more technologically advanced, so the hearing will be online since she's not contesting it. I've also sent a copy of your video to the judge. I think things will go well for you." "Thanks," I replied, ending the call. Around 2:30, Doreen called. "How's it going?" "I heard Donna got served," she said. "Yeah, lawyer called and said she signed the papers and returned them. We've got an online hearing set for 2 weeks." "Good. Donna also told me what you did with her rings and wedding dress?" "Yeah, probably not my finest moment, but it felt necessary." "I don't blame you. I might have done the same." "So, are you up for some company tonight?" "Actually, I am," I said. "What did you have in mind?" "How about my world-famous lasagna and garlic bread? Think you can find some wine?" "Lasagna, huh?" I asked. "My favorite. I think I can find some wine." "Great. I'll be over around 6:30. Does that work for you?" "Looking forward to it," I said. We talked a little more before ending the call. Afterward, I went out to grab a bottle of wine and picked up some flowers. When I got back, I jumped in the shower, shaved, and dressed in clean jeans and a polo shirt. I still had some time before Doreen arrived, so I set the table with the good dinnerware and placed candles in the center. I felt a bit like a teenager trying to impress his first date. I had just lit the candles when the doorbell rang. I opened the door and welcomed Doreen inside. She handed me the hot lasagna, and I placed it on a heat rack I'd set out. She arranged the garlic bread on a plate, and I admired her short black dress. She looked stunning. As she dished out the lasagna, I poured us each a glass of wine and pulled out her chair. She smiled sweetly and sat down. "You look just as delicious as this lasagna," I told her. She smiled back. "Thank you. And you're looking pretty good yourself in that polo. I like what you've done with the place. I don't see any signs Donna ever lived here." "That's the idea," I said, taking a bite. "This is the best lasagna I've ever had." "I'm glad you like it," she said. "Wait till you see what I brought for dessert." Dessert? I hadn't seen her bring anything else, but then I realized what she meant. I smiled knowingly. After dinner, Doreen helped me clear the table. Once we finished, she turned to me and untied her dress. It took me a moment to realize I'd stopped breathing. Standing before me was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. What's the matter? She teased. Haven't you seen an unclothed woman before? Not one as sexy and beautiful as you, I stammered. She kissed me deeply. Are you ready for dessert? I couldn't remember ever feeling this good. Not even with Donna. She wrapped her arms around my neck and kissed me again. I love you, Jim, she said. I've always loved you and always will. Please, let me be your woman as long as you'll have me. I kissed her softly and smiled. I love you too, Doreen. I wish I'd met you before Donna. She smiled back. Me too, but now let's go upstairs. Thought you'd never ask, I said. We went upstairs, arm in arm, to the guest bedroom. The bed was smaller than the one in the master bedroom, but it was perfect for us. We made love for hours before finally falling asleep in each other's arms. The next morning, Doreen woke me up. I felt like a completely new person, and I had this incredible woman to thank for it. We patted downstairs, and while I made coffee, she whipped up breakfast. I sat at the breakfast counter, watching Doreen cook bacon and eggs, wearing nothing. I could get used to this, I said, admiring her figure. She laughed. I hope so, cowboy, she replied, because I plan on doing this every chance I get. Seriously? I asked. Yep. You have no idea how long I've dreamed of being with you. She plated our breakfast and we sat down to eat at the counter. So, what's on your agenda today? She asked as she finished her meal. I've got some things to wrap up around here. I need to start prepping the house for sale. The court will likely order it sold, so I might as well get a head start. I noticed the master bedroom looks strange being empty. Are you going to replace the furniture? Eventually, but not until I know what's happening with the house. That makes sense. What's on your plate? I asked. Actually, I had an idea I wanted to run by you. Oh, what's that? How about I bring over some things from my apartment and stay here more often? That way I can help you get the place ready to sell, and we can spend more time together. I thought about it for a moment. I like that idea. We just have to be cautious. The last thing I want is Donna filing something against me. You're right, she agreed. But I doubt that'll be a problem. I know my sister, and I think she's accepted that you two are done. I'll be discreet. If anyone asks, I'll just say I'm helping you through a difficult time. I'll stay at my studio apartment a couple of nights a week, but most of the time I'll be here with you. I considered it for a moment. Deal. Good, she said, kissing me. I meant what I said last night, you know. What's that? That I love you, she said. I've always loved you, and I'll never treat you the way Donna did. I love you too, Doreen, I said, kissing her back. I genuinely did love her, and I hope this wasn't just a rebound. I'm already feeling better, and it's all thanks to you. She kissed me again before standing up. I'd better get dressed and head out. I'll be back this afternoon. Okay, sounds good. Oh, wait a second, I said, grabbing my jeans from the floor. I pulled out my key ring and handed her Donna's old house key. Just in case I'm not here when you get back, I'll give you the garage opener too, and the security code. After sorting all that out, Doreen went upstairs, got dressed, and left. The next 2 weeks were great. Doreen spent most nights with me, and she was a huge help, especially once I went back to work. We got a lot done, including painting most of the interior. She understood my job's demands, which sometimes required late nights or travel, and she was okay with that. On those nights, she stayed at her apartment, and we kept in touch via Skype until she went to bed. Trust was important to me, and Doreen seemed to sense that without me needing to say it. If I had to work late or travel, I'd always let her know with a call or text, and she'd do the same if she needed to run errands or go to her apartment. By the end of the 2 weeks, we had settled into a comfortable routine. It was clear she had gone a long way toward healing my heart during that time. It felt like a pre-honeymoon, and we learned a lot about each other, including our shared taste in music. Finally, the day of the online court hearing arrived. I was surprised that Donna hadn't tried to contact me during those 2 weeks, but I didn't mind. Doreen came by to sit off to the side and listen. I dressed for the hearing and listened as my lawyer explained the process. Since Donna wasn't contesting the divorce, he said it should only take about 15 minutes. However, the judge had scheduled an hour just in case. Between you and me, I think he likes to take his time, my lawyer joked. Soon, the judge, the bailiff, the court reporter, my lawyer, and I were all online. But Donna wasn't. Mr. Winthrop, the judge asked, do you know why Mrs. Fielding isn't present? No, Your Honor, my lawyer said. I sent her the instructions a couple of days ago, but I haven't heard from her. Mr. Fielding, have you heard from your wife? The judge asked me. No, sir, I haven't. All right, bailiff, contact the sheriff's office and send them to Mrs. Fielding's address. If there's no valid reason for her absence, have her taken into custody. Yes, sir, the bailiff said. We waited around for about 45 minutes until the bailiff returned. Your Honor, deputies have reported from Mrs. Fielding's residence. Both Mrs. Fielding and her companion were found deceased. The medical examiner has been called. I see. Thank you, bailiff, the judge said. Mr. Fielding, it seems your petition for divorce is now moot due to your wife's end of life. I will wait for the official report from the medical examiner before closing the case. In the meantime, please accept my condolences. Thank you, Your Honor, I replied. The judge, bailiff, and court reporter left the call, leaving just me and my lawyer. I'm very sorry, Mr. Fielding, he said. If you'd like, I can handle your wife's probate, assuming she didn't have a will. No, she didn't, thanks, I said. I held Doreen as she cried over Donna's end of life. I felt some sadness, too. Thanks to Doreen, I no longer hated Donna, but I still hated what she had done. I also remembered telling her I hoped never to see her alive again, and that caused a pang of guilt. It was something I'd said in anger, but it still bothered me. A couple of weeks later, the state started reopening, and life began to return to normal. The autopsy revealed that Donna and her lover had both died from the coronavirus. It also showed they had taken large quantities of illegal pills, and the medical examiner confirmed that Donna had been pregnant, no doubt with her lover's child. Strangely, neither of them sought medical help. I attended the funeral to support Doreen and her parents. Fortunately, I had a term life insurance policy on Donna through the bank, so her final expenses were covered. Alan and Linda were happy to hear that Doreen and I were together. I'm not sure where our relationship is headed, but I suspect I'll be proposing before too long. Right now, I'm focused on this amazing woman who's showing me just how much she loves me, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to focus on her for a while.